podcasts, but this is more, this is another interview podcast. I was approached, I don't know, about maybe 3 weeks ago or a month ago by the publisher of a book called Unravelled. I think I hinted about that the last time I podcast. This is sort of a knitting romance book. And a publisher from the UK, Hallgood Books, asked me if I would conduct an interview with the author of the book. So I said, well, yeah, okay, let me read the book. So they sent me the book. I read it. It's adorable. It's a cute book. So, and it was a great read. And there's lots of, as the author calls it, it's sort of knitting fiction, which I thought, oh, well, that's great for us because a lot of us love to read. So anyway, so I read the book. They sent me a kit, which I'll share with you in a minute. And they also offered a giveaway for our viewers. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. We want a giveaway. We love giveaways. And we also, you know, I mean, we want you to read the book, so there has to be some exchange. Anyway, the book is written by Briony Marshall. And the book is called Unravelled. And I'm going to unravel our kit that they gave me. So the publisher sent me this adorable kit. It's got a tote bag that has the Unravelled name. Let me hold the tote bag up. Briony Marshall is the author. In the tote bag was this cute little book buddy holder. The book, Unravelled by Briony Marshall. Yay! A pattern that Briony designed, which is sort of a Doctor Who-like scarf. And there's reference to this in the book, so there's some relatability to it. Here's the pattern, and then she recommends a whole bunch of colors, combinations, which is great. And then in the book buddy as well is this adorable sort of bookmark, heart-like bookmark that Briony knitted in every single one that she did. So it's just adorable. So they gave me one to give away. The book is available at Amazon in the UK. They're working out the details to make it available at Amazon US. And I think if you're a Prime member, I think you can still get it through Amazon UK, but I'm not sure. So I'll find out more about that. Also, they're going to give away the book. I'm giving away this kit. So it's 3 parts. So 3 winners will each get the book. One will get a more swagged out package with the tote bag and a book buddy and a little heart bookmark. All of us will get the book and the pattern. So that's part of it. So to enter the giveaway, you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to know when my next podcast is, hit the bell and you'll get a notice when my next podcast is up. Either way, either one, just you have to be a subscriber. And I want you, in order for me to select it, I want you, there's a little bit of a prompt. I want you to tell me what nitty romance books or your favorite romance book is. So that's all you have to do is just, you're knitting, maybe it's a nitty romance book, maybe it's not, but tell me what your favorite romance book is, and I will select a winner from, I will select 3 winners from that pool. My current subscribers are also, of course, eligible for this, so do put down the same kind of prompt. It's YouTube only. I'm not going to put this on Instagram except to promote the podcast. Anyway, so in this interview with Briony, you'll see it sort of is a 2-part interview. The first part, I interview about the book, character development, what her inspiration was. She talks about her crafting journey, and it's really, really interesting. She's a knitter. She's very much into crochet right now, so she talks a lot about crochet. Just her journey through when she started and how it's evolved is really interesting, and the character development and the storyline of the romance and why she went in the direction she did. So it was really interesting from a writing point of view and interesting from a crafting journey point of view. So enjoyed that part of it. We talk a lot about what she was working on right now. So I invited her to come back a couple days later to show us and share with us, just like we share with you, our whips. What was she working on? And she shares her whips with us, which is a lot of fun to see what she's doing. The whole video, maybe less than 40 minutes, I think. So you got a couple parts. You see me in a couple of outfits. You see Briony in a couple of outfits. So we just pieced it together to put this out for you. So Unravelled by Briony Marshall. Here's the interview. Enjoyed. If you have any questions, please post them below. But really, to win all the goodies, to be eligible for the giveaway, tell me what your favorite romance book, and if there's an indie reference, even better. You have to be a subscriber to my channel. So if you're not subscribed, why not? Hit the subscribe button below. And I look forward to more of you. And I'll be back with my regular podcast in a couple of weeks. And I'll share, it's been a while because, I'll share my whips, my FOs, and my acquisitions. And some other news I've picked up along the way. Okay, enjoy it. Have a great time. I hope you enjoy it. Love some feedback. All right, see you later. Bye. Hello, Briony. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thanks. You?
Thanks for joining me. We're going to record this brief introduction to a longer interview that we're going to have about your book, Unravelled. Let me just get the kit because I have the kit. Hold on. Look! I got some swag. I think Diane sent me some swag.
She did.
She did. So look at this cute thing. This little pouch. And then ta-da!
That's all special made for me. Yeah.
How proud of you. How proud are you of this book?
Incredibly proud.
Okay, I've written a book. I know how long it takes, and I know the work that goes into it. So was this something that you studied writing, or you just had this concept and you had to put it down on paper?
Well, Unravelled took me 10 years to write in total. Yeah.
Wow.
I started writing it when I was at college. And at college, I was doing mainly drama-based subjects, and English was added on. Like, oh, I quite like English. Let's just do that for the fun of it. And it just kind of, the tables just turned, and I ended up still enjoying drama, but excelling at English. And it was just an idea that I had when I used to daydream. I had to travel quite far to college, so to sit on the bus and daydream about it. And I was a knitter myself, so it was kind of like that's where the romance aspect came from. And then I went to university and studied creative and professional writing with English at the University of Wolverhampton. And that was where really Unravelled went from an idea to paper.
So,
so
when you're writing it, so did you write it in snippets, in little bits at a time?
Yeah, so I had an initial daydream back in college. Then for university, I had to do the whole plot, but not beefed out, just 1 page worth of plot and the opening chapter. And then from there, working with a publisher later on, I wrote the entirety of the whole story.
So how long, once you got working with the publisher, how long did it take? I mean, did you write a certain number of hours a day, or did you just sit down and just pour it out, or how did you do it?
Well, because I've also got a day job as well. I work in retail as well. Literally on my day off, I'd have a day to write, say, a chapter. So once a week, I'd sit down and I'd write a chapter. But including edits and everything else, it took me about 3 years to finalise the actual manuscript you have now. Wow,
well, it's really great. So let me go through some questions, and then if
we'll start with that. All right. So I'd love to know a little bit about your background.
Okay.
Where you're from, and you told us a little bit about what you studied in school and how the book came about, but a little bit more of your background. Who are you personally? And did you write first, or did you crochet first, or did you craft first?
Long story short, I've always loved books, as you can see from the bookcase behind me. My mum used to read to me from a really, really young age, and then from then I used to listen to audiobooks when I used to fall asleep, and so on and so on. So stories have always been a massive part of my life anyway. I used to be that child that used to go to school in the playground, would tell stories at what I did on the weekend or in the holidays. That was me. So storytelling has always been a huge part of who I am anyway. And then jump forward to when I was about 7, my mum used to work at a wool shop. And on the Saturdays, when I was off school, she used to take me to the wool shop with her. I used to sit with her for a shift. And she tried so hard to teach me how to knit, so hard. But I was 7 and it was uncool and
yes,
didn't work.
Yes, very uncool at 7, yes. You want to be an old lady at 7.
Yeah.
Knits. Why are you knitting? What are you doing?
Yeah. So then jump forward again to when I turned 18. That was the same kind of time that I went to college, and I started really concentrating on drama and English because they were my 2 subjects at college. And we lost my nan, unfortunately. She passed away when I was about that age, and I suddenly wanted to be really close to my mum. It made me realise that I wanted to spend more time with her. And my mum used to do a lot of knitting classes and knit and natters and knitting groups, and I thought I can go with her. So I went and sat with all these ladies, and then I felt a bit awkward because I wasn't knitting. And between us, I think there was 7 of us in total, they taught me to knit. And that was how I actually started knitting. And I went from a scarf to a jumper, and then the rest is history. And then I think about 5 years ago now, because I'm 27 now, so I've been knitting for about 10 years, I learned to crochet. I taught myself how to crochet, and I love it.
Which do you prefer?
Ooh.
I know, it's so hard.
At the minute, probably crochet, just purely because I'm learning more new techniques via crochet, because I've done a lot of knitting. So I've kind of reached the point in my knitting where I'm happy. Whereas with crochet, I'm learning like graphgans at the moment. That's what I'm doing at the minute, graphgans.
So you were about 17 or 18 when you learned to knit.
Yeah.
And you put it down for a while, or you just kept going?
I just kept going from there onwards, because I was part of that knitting group for about 5-6 years before I went to full-time work. Okay. So over those 6 years, I progressed through to like jumpers and cable work and things like that.
Okay.
But so I still do.
Not to give anything away the book, because I do not want to reveal too much of the book, because I want my subscribers and those who view this podcast to actually get the book. You do, your character is a knitter, or was a knitter, but she really struggled with it because she was in and out of different kind of relationships, and sort of down sometimes and up sometimes. But I will say this, finally, when she joins a knitting group, you did base one of the knitting group characters after someone in your knitting group?
Yes. There's definitely elements to all of those knitting ladies that I've come across in my knitting journey. So, for example, there's elements of my mom in some of them. She's the main person who taught me to knit. There's elements of my nan in there as well.
That's so nice.
Yeah. And then there's one lady who I played a very big homage to, because she was part of that original knitting group. And again, unfortunately, we lost her just before I finished writing the book, actually. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a dedication. That's Doreen, that is. She was definitely a lace and a toy maker. Yeah.
That's so great. All right. Now, I'm looking down at my notes. And what was your inspiration for the book? I mean, because obviously, you know, as writers, there's something that launches us to, whether you have an idea, a germ of an idea, or you want to recount something in your life experience, as I did. But I mean, what was the inspiration for this book, other than, like, how did you come up with this plot and this story? Because when I first read it, I was like, "Ooh, Bridget Jones." Not nothing like Bridget Jones, by the way.
Yeah, no, that was a massive compliment.
But it sort of got you going like that. So what was the inspiration?
It was 50-50. A lot of it, I do obviously draw from personal experience, because they say your first novel is very autobiographical, whether you want it to be or not.
Right.
People who live local to me have all come up to me and said, is that this place? And is that this place? And I'm like, well, not really, but I suppose so.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was definitely, like I said about the daydreams on the bus. I was 17, 18. I was single and I just got into knitting. And I used to daydream about the idea of what could happen and how I could meet somebody and what would happen if I met that person in that way. And that was originally the inspiration for Unravelled, was that little daydream, that snippet of how I could meet the one. And then the rest of the plot around it, so the surrounding characters, they're definitely inspiration for my own life and my own experiences, and as I've gone along, what I've learned from different people. Because as you join into the knitting community, you'll know this, and your subscribers will as well, it's like you enter a secret world, and then it's just like stories and people's experiences, and it's amazing. And the community is so loving and so together that it's just fantastic. There's so much inspiration in that community that I didn't need much more.
I mean, that's why I started this whole journey, was because I started to watch these knitting podcasts and I thought, what is this? And learned so much from them that I thought, well, maybe I can dip my toe in the water and see if it takes. And there was no slow knitter. I am very slow, by the way. So I just grabbed it and ran. But let's talk more about you. I want to talk more about you. Now, the central character, her name is Claire. And I'm not spoiling anything, no spoilers here, but the men in her life, and there are men in Claire's life, they range from a character called Muscles to who's very involved in his fitness, name says everything, to Adrian, who takes over his mom's yarn store, and they're really opposite personalities, right? You have one person that's very, very into himself, and the other person who's kind and gentle and seems kind and gentle. And you would wonder why someone like Claire would be attracted to one type versus the other type. Talk a little bit about that.
Originally, the idea behind Muscles versus Adrian was to take the universal stereotype of romance and turn it on its head. With a knitting fiction, you're going to go in on that angle anyway. You're going to completely subvert everything. So that was the initial thought. Secondly, no spoilers, but with Muscles, the idea was that relationship doesn't work for a reason. And I kind of wanted to show that what everybody thinks is attractive and what everyone thinks is the best thing they could possibly have sometimes is completely not. And I kind of wanted to show people that through the difference in the two characters together. It
was really a striking difference for me to look at that. So, well, does say anything more about that? Now, there's a section of the book, and again, no spoilers here, about online dating, which is a very contemporary kind of way to date. Whereas my generation, we used to go to parties or pubs or places other like that to meet people. Today's generation, and it's just been going on for quite a while actually, does online dating. And I know a lot of people who are successful online daters, married and children and everything like that right now. So talk to me about that. Why did you put that in there? And did you have personal experience with that?
Not me personally. I actually met my boyfriend at a party. I did it the traditional way. But who very scary looks like Adrian.
Oh.
The model on the front of your knitting pattern in your bundle.
I do. I'm going to talk about that as well.
But I have friends like yourself. I have friends who have successfully done this. But again, what it was, I wanted to bring with Unravelled, I wanted to bring knitting to a much younger audience. So through the book, I was trying to connect elements that they would find more relevant to them if the knitting wasn't relevant to them. So I hoped that people who didn't knit would still read the book and still get enjoyment out of it, which I thought if I bring in more modern and contemporary elements throughout, that will help the two things seamlessly move together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people look at my age, they read the book and they don't think I'm going to be as young as I actually am.
Because
Like I've turned to events.
Because of the knitting?
Yeah, like me knitting, they're like, what? Like I walk in, they did not expect me to be in my 20s. It really confuses people, but that was the idea. I wanted people to be more, I wanted knit to be more accessible. I wanted to be a more accessible thing, and this could be an avenue for people to get into knitting, because if they've read the book, they enjoyed it, they like the concept, give it a go.
Okay. I was also taught by my mother when I was very young, and continued on, and then dropped it in my, when I was younger, and then picked it up again. And after being forced and coerced by a good friend of mine to go to a knitting class. I said, a knitting class? A what? And as soon as I picked up those needles in that class, I knew exactly what I was doing. And the instructor even said, have you done this before? And I thought, have I? I think so. Yes, I think I have. Yeah, maybe. She said, well, you hold the needle. Yeah, it was really funny. Now I did, now the character joins a knitting group, and I did become quite fond of those ladies, I have to say. They're not heavily featured in the book, but when they are, you really do you want to talk to them. You're like, oh, I get her. I know people like that. Yeah. Talk a little bit more about knitting groups. I mean, obviously you went with your mom when she was instructing at her wool shop, but I mean, do you belong to one now? I don't now. I literally I got my full-time job and I had to stop. But in the run up to there, I was in a member of 4 of them, 4 separate knitting groups. Yeah, literally it was like day on, day off throughout the week. It might be a little bit much. That's a lot. A little bit. Barely keep up with the international virtual knitting community, and which you must join. I have. Excellent. I did find you on Ravelry. Yeah. I found you on Ravelry. Do you use Ravelry a lot, or do you just pop in and pop out occasionally? I pop in and pop out. I do use it quite a lot for patterns. I do go on there for patterns a lot more than I do actively use my own profile on there. Right. But it's definitely something that I want to get involved in now. My New Year's resolution is to knit more clothes, because I do a lot of toy knitting and a lot of things like that. So I want to knit more clothes and more wearables. So I think as those come through, I could document that on my Ravelry. Yes, that's actually a lot of very popular personalities in the knitting community are claiming that this is the year of garment knitting. Yes. So you are right on it. Now, how are you planning on continuing the story? Are you going to continue the story? Are you going to integrate more knitting stories? What's the next step? Talk to me about what you're doing next. I haven't had a meeting with my publisher yet, so I could get in trouble. Well, just brainstorm a little bit with me. I have an idea for it to be a trilogy in the end, so there'll be 3 books altogether. Okay. I know what I want for the final book, but I'm not going to discuss that because I don't want to give it away. No. We want people to read this book first. Yeah, exactly. But the sequel, because obviously I've taken on crochet quite a lot in more recent years. Like when I was writing Unravelled, I was just knitting, and then as I've wrote Unravelled, I've really got into the crochet. I'm thinking about doing a sequel that involves crochet as the more central theme, so that when we get to the 3rd one, we have knitting and crochet together. Don't close the door after the 3rd one, because there could be more about this. And I think that's what's really going to attract this community to the book, is that there's such recognizable elements for us as knitters or crafters. Even doesn't matter if you crochet or knit or sew or anything. As crafters, there's such recognizable features in the book that you just want to keep reading it. You just want to see what's next for her. So and this whole journey of crafting. So you could even take her into spinning, or weaving, or into I don't know. So you're not knitting right now. You're more crocheting. Never say never. I have 2 whips. I always have a crochet and a knitting going on at the same time. Oh, what are you knitting now? I really want to know what you're knitting right now.
I'm knitting a tea bag t-shirt. So it's like a
Oh,
square
nice.
piece that's got drop stitches to create like almost like a lace pattern in it. And that's in a lovely mustard colour. Lovely. And then my crochet project is really interesting. I'm part of the Association of Independent Yarn Shop Owners. I'm doing their temperature cowl with them. So every day for the temperature, I'm doing a different row in a different colour.
I've never heard of that.
You've not heard of that? I'll have to send you the link for that. It's
Yes.
really, really interesting.
So it's a cowl?
It's a cowl, it's a blanket. It's going to be 365 rows long in the end, because every row is for the day. And I take the temperature at noon every day for where I am. And then I've designed my own temperature chart. So if different 4 units of temperature, there's a different colour of wool. And as it goes up, it changes colour. I'm trying to see if I've got it because it's normally next to me, but I've moved it. But yeah, it's in the granny stripe all the way up. Yeah.
Oh. Temperature? Like weather temperature?
Yeah.
So if it's cold,
the year.
so if it's cold out, you have a different pattern?
Yeah.
For that day and color?
Yeah, different colour. Yeah.
Wow. So that's interesting that you're a member of this group. So are you anybody in the business of independent local yarn shops?
Yes, I'm really good friends with the lady that runs my local wool shop. That was the company that my mum used to work for. And we get on really, really well. We've always have done. And she joined me into this cowl as one of her customers. So I get to post like a Facebook group, and you can post your progress and what's going on and anything like that. And that's another community I am a part of. But people are knitting and crocheting their blankets on there. I just chose to crochet because I'm a little bit quicker at crocheting than I am knitting.
So can people join this?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
I'll if you'll send me the link, I'll just put the link in my notes so that people can check that out. The pattern, you designed this pattern.
I did.
Right? Is that your husband? Yeah, he's modeling the Dr. scarf, which you designed, right? You designed it.
Yeah.
It comes with very clear instructions and color recommendations, which are really, it's a lovely pattern. I might have to do this pattern because it would be so fun to do. And that comes with it, which is a nice little bonus. And then you have a very, very cute, where is it? Oh, it's in the back. I guess this is a bookmark.
Yeah.
So did you make this bookmark?
I did. I made all of them. So every single one that comes with the kit, I made. Cozy, comfy read. Nothing too stressful, nothing too straining. Just, cuddle up with your knitting and give it a little read. About the format then, about Amazon, would people prefer to have it in ebook as well as paperback? Like, would that be something that people would be interested in?
We should ask the viewers if they would, what format they would prefer the book in, whether it's ebook or hardbook or audio. You haven't recorded an audio, have you?
No, not yet. It's something we could discuss if people would want it. Could always talk to my publisher about it, definitely.
We do have a lot of our knitters, a lot of people in the knitting community who listen to books while they knit.
Yeah.
So, or crochet, or even weave or spin. They're always doing, either they're watching Netflix or they're listening to a book. Another option, and I saw this last night on my Instagram feed, somebody actually reads a hardcover book while she knits.
Wow.
Like, wow, that's multitasking at its height. My favorite 2 hobbies. How would she said she reads, as long as she's doing stocking stitch or something that's not, yarn overs and lace or anything complicated, she can actually read a couple pages, look down, knit, read a couple pages, look down. Yeah, wow, is right. I said I aspire to that. I don't know how to do that. All right. Well, they can get the book. I will put the link through your publisher, Hallman. Is that right? So people can find you there. I'm going to put in all the appropriate links, like your website, like Hallgood Books, where you can get the book. I think that's it. And I will blast this all over Instagram, Facebook page, even to reach new audiences on Instagram. You're going to promote the interview as well through your channels. And win-win. But I did love the book. Congratulations. It's just a fantastic read and great. I didn't want to put it down.
Oh, thank you.
Which I think is really the key to a good, lovely read. And you don't want, what's happening next? What's happening next? I love that. All right. Take good care. And you'll see the end meeting at the bottom right on your screen. Do you see end meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll both click that. And then I'll review it and I'll let you know how this goes.
Brilliant. Well, take care. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Briony. Thanks. Bye. Hi, Briony. Welcome back.
Hello.
And I'm back with Briony. She's going to share some of her whips with us because I was really curious, particularly about that temperature crochet along that Briony's part of. And I wanted her to show us what she's doing. Also, I'm going to amend some pricing, and I'll do that after we let Briony go. But Briony, why don't you share your whips with us while we're here? This is a podcast about knitting and whips and FOs, so we might as well share our whips. And I've got you, so let's go. Let's share.
I have a selection down here. So
excellent.
We'll start with the cowl then. So you can knit it or crochet it, but I chose to crochet.
Okay.
You have to stand back for this. So that's how I'm going so far.
So that is granny stripe, and it goes, and every day the temperature changes.
Yeah.
You do either a new pattern kind of technique, or is it the same technique?
It's the same technique, just a different colour. But you can choose whatever you want to do. So, for example, for snow days, I've had like sparkly white. I don't know if that's going to show up very well.
Yeah.
And then obviously the colder temperatures is the lavender colour. And then getting a bit warmer, we've got sherbet, and then turquoise is really warm. So that's the warmest it's been so far.
But they look like they're a good family of colors. There's nothing outrageous in there that is a pop of color or anything. It's just they look like they really blend together. Was that intentional?
I think I just tried to stick with like the temperature, like the feels. It's all quite cool at the minute. As it will progress on, I've got orange, bright orange, fiesta pink, red. But obviously we've seen none of that yet.
When did the crochet along begin?
It began the 1st of January, so that would have been literally my first row. I did it on New Year's Day, and then I think I'm a couple of days behind. So I think I'm on the 3rd, of March here. So it's quite large.
That is the first 3 months of the year's weather in the UK.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So did you do mostly trebles or doubles or?
Yeah, that's trebles in there. So that's 3 treble shell to make the granny stripe. I think I used Attic 24's pattern to start me off.
Yes, most of us do use that one. And
yeah,
your treble is our double. So there's something. I'm still trying to figure all that out. But so we all do use Attic 24s because we love it so much. Now that's a big one. So what size is that? Is that a queen bed or what's lap blanket or?
I think it's going to end up being quite large because that's only 3 months. Oh. I think that's probably end up being like a bed size probably by the time it's finished because it's really going to be big.
Do you want to talk about some of the yarns you used?
Yeah, of course. It's all Starcraft special apart from the white, which is James C. Brecktwinkle, and it's all in double knitting or DK.
So so it's DK, and is there any acrylic? Is it acrylic as well?
I think it's all mainly acrylic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Wonderful. So are you going to switch yarn weights, or are you going to stay mostly with the same kind of yarn weight?
I think I'm going to stick because all my colours are special, like I say, apart from the twinkle. So I think I'm going to stick all the same all the way up to keep it all in line.
What size hook are you using?
3.5 on that, so 3.50.
Okay.
Wanted to keep it as tight as possible.
Okay, so we will have a link to the Facebook page that you told me about, so people can follow along or join or see what other people are doing with it. And you said some are knitting it as well?
Yes, some are knitting it, some are doing it for like temperatures in the past, so like the year of like their child's birth or the year they got married. So it doesn't have to be the cowl for this year. Yeah,
and
it can be.
It is 365 things of whatever year you choose.
Yeah.
Whether it's current year or past year, but it's 365.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I cannot have another whip, but I might. Okay, so what else? What else are you working on? What else have you got in your needles, as we say?
Well, I talked about the Grafgan last time we spoke.
Oh yes, I'm really interested in that.
And I've actually started that today, so I can show you that. There's a lot of ends though here, so I'm going to try and hold it up without looking too messy. So that's this blanket, and it's the first time I've ever like taken colours across. So done this much colour change in crochet. It's the first time I've ever done that.
Where you change colours across.
Yeah.
One single colour.
And I did a little bit of wool winding this morning on a wool winder, which I've never done before either.
What do you mean you've never done that? How do you get skeins? What?
Pulling it out the ball.
Oh, no. So you don't usually get skeins of yarn?
No, I'm normally a ball pet. Yeah. So I was quite impressed with this. I had a bit of fun this morning.
Yes, and that's all crochet.
Yeah, that's all double crochet for me, but I think single crochet for you on there, because it's an American pattern I'm following. I got it off of Sewella. She did a countdown of gender neutral baby blankets, and it was on there.
Okay, so is there
One Dog Woof
pattern you can link us to?
Yes, it's on a blog called One Dog Woof, so I'll send you the link to that as well if you want to.
So you don't knit from skeins, mostly you knit from little yarn cakes. I
only got skeins very, very recently. I did a company in the UK called Toft, if you've ever heard of them, and they do a lot of Aramagumi animals.
Yeah.
And I had their advent calendar at Christmas.
Oh, fun.
It was amazing. And behind every door there was a tiny, tiny skein, and that's the first time I've ever had skeins of yarn, and I had to unravel them and join them.
That's really fun. That's so fun to know. See, I was winding some yarn last night and this morning, and this particular brand of yarn I usually have problems with. It's very sticky, and so it almost always gets caught in either my Swift or my ball winder. So this morning I had like about 20 grams in a big knot. So I was listening to something or waiting for my computer to upload some software, and I was like winding it by hand. Ugh. Anyway, okay, so let's see. So that's any other crochet projects?
Well, I finished one in between when we last spoke and today.
Wow.
So that was a shawl that I've been working on since last summer, but I kept putting it away.
We all have lots of those. We have lots of those.
So this is 4-ply, and it's my first adventure into anything that isn't like DK or chunky, like smaller end.
So that's thinner yarn.
Yeah, this is quite big.
It's beautiful. So what is the pattern? Wow.
This one was called Like Old Times, and I got this off Ravelry, so that might be in my queue somewhere. And she did it in really traditional cream colour, but I chose to do it in quite a funky different colour just to make it a bit more modern. And it's got puff stitch in it.
And it's crochet?
Yeah.
And it's a shawl?
Yeah. So obviously, I'm hoping, on the end, there we go. So yeah, I'm hoping to get a nice shawl pin now.
That is beautiful. What colours are they? Just so everybody knows.
It was a variegated yarn, so the yarn actually colour changed itself. It was by the Women's Institute, which is one of the yarns that comes through a shop called Hobbycraft we have here in the UK. And it's one of their yarns, and it was called Pure and Silky, so it was really, really smooth to knit with, or crochet with in this case.
That is really a beautiful piece. And you could wear it this way or
Yeah,
that.
or the scarf. Yeah, I was thinking that.
Is it triangle, traditional triangle scarf? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Let's try that.
Yeah, see, look how you're wearing it. That's beautiful like that.
I'll leave it on.
Is that your first shawl?
Yes.
Yes, we're big shawl. We love shawls. The more the merrier. Bring it on. It takes me forever, like you, to do a shawl because by the end, the rows is like 400 or 500, sometimes longer stitches.
Yeah.
And after a while, you're like, okay, one row, I'm putting it down. It's going to time out for a while, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that's impressive. I'm very impressed with that. That's great. My crocheters will love it. Love it. So also, if you'll just send me the link to that pattern, I'll include that link for viewers as well. Hey. All right. What else?
My last one
Okay.
is my knitting project that I'm doing at the minute.
The tee that you're working on, right?
Yes, it's like a Bag T-shirt. Trying to pull this out so you can see.
Oh, nice.
So it's got.
Oh, wow.
And literally, I just have to do that all the way up until it fits, and then just increase a little bit for the arms.
So it's bottom up.
Yeah. And I'm using Knit Pro Zing needles. I love these needles.
So straight needles, not you did. Now, are you familiar with Joji Locatelli?
No.
She's a knitwear designer. She's South American. She's from Argentina. She also knits on Zings that big, and she holds it under her arm, one part of it, as she knits. I was fascinated. I never knew that about her. But she makes the most beautiful patterns, so you must look her up, Joji Locatelli. One of the things that she does is really long Zing needles, and she thinks, where do you get yours?
I got mine from Wool Warehouse online.
I think she gets it. I think she was getting it from Knit Picks, believe it or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I know that she holds one end under her arm as she knits. These are really, really long, like yours.
The longer version, yeah.
They're long. Wow. So have you knit on circulars before?
No, I haven't. No. I have got a lot to learn.
You don't knit in the round, or if you do you use double points?
I've never done that either. I know.
What an adventure you're gonna have. This is so fun. Those are very cool needles. I have a set of my mom's needles, knitting needles, and they're straight needles. They're all straight. In fact, when I went to my knitting class, when I first learned to knit here, when I relearned to knit, they handed us circulars, and I thought, did they just invent these? And the instructor went, no. I was like, I've never seen this before. But, a lot of people don't knit on circs. They mostly knit on straight needles. There's a very big population of knitters that still only knit on straight. So I can appreciate that. Okay, let's see. What else? All right, well, we're excited about the giveaway, which I'll go into more detail. I don't need to keep you on to do that. But anything else? Any last minute things you want to tell me about the book, or how are sales going? And
sales going really well. I'm absolutely amazed at the feedback. I'm starting to now get people come back to me who bought it on release. Just telling me how much they enjoyed it, how amazing it was, how quick read it was. They were hooked, they couldn't stop reading it. So that's really lovely to hear. Yes. And that my characters are realistic. We're on the 3rd print run, I believe now. I think so. 3rd print run. So that's amazing.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
How is it being marketed right now?
I know I'm doing a lot more online now. Last year I did a lot of in-person events, so I did a lot of festivals and library talks and author talks and things like that. Whereas at the beginning of this year I've gone to a couple of book clubs and things, but I'm doing more internet promotion because I think we're getting ready for the ebook launch, so it'll be more online.
Okay.
Online promotion.
So when do we think we'll get an ebook?
I'm due a meeting with my publisher this month, and we're going to discuss it then. So very soon, I think, very soon.
So I'll have, if either you or Diane can let me know when an ebook is available and an audiobook, as we talked about the other day, we should actually let everybody know that it's out there so they can access it if they choose to access it that
Yeah.
way rather than.
Yeah.
So you might see some sales in the beginning and then some trickle sales as more versions come online.
Yeah. I know there's some interesting plans for the ebook release, like e-party and things like that. So definitely like stay tuned, because we could all get involved in that as well.
Yes, and yes, I'd love to be involved in that. I would love it, love it, love it. Okay, so I will clear up the pricing and the availability for everyone. I'm so glad I had you come back on to share your whips, and if you will just send me the information on the patterns, I'll be sure to include links for my viewers.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope the wind dies down and I hope the weather gets a little bit better.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, and we'll touch base when I'll let you know when this is going up.
Fab. I look forward to it.
Okay. Thanks, Briony. Bye-bye.
No problem. Bye.